All right, here we go with the Genshin video about the new resin changes, so on and so forth. We're gonna go all about it. We're gonna see what they did right now. But before we move ahead, I'd like to tell you guys thank you so much for the support. Thank you for commenting down below what you guys want to see, whether it be first or actual guide ideas that you guys would like to run through. I want to thank you guys so much for subbing, hitting the bell notification, and liking the videos. For this one specifically, I do want you guys to like the video. Go ahead and smash it so that miHOYO or a dev out there can see it. Share it everywhere you can. These are propositions that I'm going to go about in the video, talking about what I would like to see moving forward in the resin system changes. This is a small little baby step to possibly a better resin system. And the game is young. We have to come to this understanding that the game is fairly young. And in order to get to where we want, we're going to have to give it some time. And we're going to have roughly 8 to 10 major patches within the year if it's on a 6-week period. And while that may be slow, for the hardcore, we're obviously, you're always going to hit the content wall. You're always going to grind out the game. But thank goodness there is some form of cap. It's just natural with gacha games. Is how they run. And gachas are similar. And this is no different. Obviously, the resin system sucks and it does need some reworks and changes. And this is what this video is all about. It's about repurposing some of these things and what you can use in the game to probably make a better resin system overall for everyone, from the casual to the hardcore, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so if you don't mind, I have some notes here. I'll be looking at the camera, but I'll also be looking at you guys every now and then. I did write down some really some detailed stuff. If you can see, you can't really see because of the lighting in the room, but I went into specific detail. I even did some math and so on and so forth. So number one, the key change I think we need to see happen, and I think it's the most important change on this paper. I think the rest are they're not rudimentary. I think they're like extras, supplementary to the main change that I proposed. And instead of bumping the cap, honestly, if this was just a 120 cap, this change alone would make it several times better and enjoyable. So the first one is, instead of an 8-minute timer for one resin, change it to a 3-minute timer. Now it doesn't, like, changing the numbers doesn't seem huge, but it is a gigantic change. Slashing 5 minutes off the timer is incredible. Even a 3-minute change, changing it to 5 minutes, is also really good as well. But yeah, I think 3 minutes is good for this game, as how grind heavy it can be and how grindable the game is because of just how fun the combat is and things. So instead of being on like a 14 to 15 hour refresh for 120 resin, it'll be like a 6-hour refresh. So meaning, like, people who go to school, people who go to work, things like that, after you're done with your work, say you log on, you burn all your resin, and you're just like, okay, I did as much as I could before I head out. I'm gonna head out now. Or let's say you have a day ahead of you and you just logged into Genshin to do all your stuff, your dailies. When you come back to the game for the second time, you'll have max resin again, and you can go ahead and repeat and just chomp through some other things, and you're never low on well, not never low, but you will be more bountiful in resources and things like that. You can farm artifacts more often, so on and so forth. Also, with the new bump in resin, instead of taking a 14-hour kind of increase to like get max resin from 120, say you hit 0, takes 14 hours to get there. Now it takes 20 hours. It's way too big. Whereas with the change, it's 6 hours for 120 resin to refresh, with my proposed change of 3 minutes, and then it goes straight from 6 to 8 hours, which is still really good. You know, you can come back after a work week, like I said, or a work day, sorry, like I said, and that means like a lot of resin for you to use. So that adds up to roughly like a 240 resin 240 resin in a 16-hour window versus 128 resin with the current system, 128 resin in a 16-hour window. So if you compare both, you're effectively doubling resin by reducing it by 3 minutes, reducing it to 3 minutes. That's more than anyone would really need in most cases. If this change was implemented now, a lot of people would be farming. A lot more people would be on the game, grinding, getting things that they want, so on and so forth. So the second change I'm going to talk about is a more interesting approach. A lot of games have this increase, a lot of games don't. Some of them have set stamina, but I think this is the best way for this game to go about it. And that is 5 resin increase per ADR after level 7. So level 1 through 7's a cakewalk. The game pretty much holds your hand there. And just getting 5 resin for each of those levels is kind of like, okay, you know, you didn't really play the game, you know, but we're gonna give this to you. And so after 7, you get 5. After you're done, get your full summons, and you want to explore the world and get a whole bunch of ADRs and levels and so on and so forth. This is, I propose this is the change. So from 7 to 35 is 140 more resin. And 140 plus 120 is 260. If we do it with the new system coming with 160 resin instead of 120, that change turns into a 300 resin bump increase. Now that's very appealing. I think that's very appealing to everyone. I think even people that are 40, 45, that's great. That's wonderful. And what does this mean? This means if you're running down your resin daily, you're getting up to 15 domains done with a 1500 XP bump to your ADR, and that's good because that matches how much XP you get from daily commissions. And daily commissions are like one of the easiest things to do in the game. You know, they're fun to do and so on and so forth, but you can farm domains and ley lines and walk out with 1500 XP. For boss runs, you half the amount. It's like roughly 7 runs on bosses, and you'll get the same amount of XP because bosses are doubled the amount and the resin cost is also doubled. But you'll get the same amount of XP, but you'll get less runs, less materials. But this also helps awakening characters. It doesn't really stifle you. This allows late game character building. It allows you to get through, build other characters for Abyss, so on and so forth. And I did some more math. It gives you, if you do domains for talents, that's roughly 30 books, 30 blue books, if you're doing it on the adventure rank 35 difficulty. That is 30 blue books and 15 to 30 green books. Now green books are fickle, they change, the drop isn't guaranteed at 2, it's usually 1 to 2. So that's why I said 15 to 30 books is very dependent. So that's like crafting a ton of resources, using a lot of resources, you're getting a lot. Plus you're also getting roughly 2,000 more per run. That's a good chunk of resources that you could be using every day if this ADR change were to, I mean not ADR, but resin change were to happen. And you can also farm up to 660k with a Mora within that 300 resin run. Now if you can manage a full refresh, that can add up to a stifling amount of 1.3 million. But if you're at 300 resin, it's going to be kind of rough to get back there. After like a 6-hour window, you'll probably be at half your resin. And that's still a good chunk of money, but it's not realistic. It's just really appealing. And the last proposed change, and I think this is also a really important one besides the very first one. Daily commissions should award resin. I think as part of the package, once you finish all 4 daily missions and you go to Catherine and you trade it all in, I personally think that you should get 2 fragile resin for completing it. So it's more resin that you get in the game to use daily on a daily basis. That's 120 free resin. That's effectively doubling your resin. And it also effectively allows you to farm a lot more than just the allotted 6 hours you would have to wait if you use my proposed idea of 3 minutes cooldown versus an 8 minute for 1 resin. And going over this, for your adventure rank rewards, I think they should change it a little bit. They should do it according to world level. So if you're in an adventure rank of world level, like let's say 0, I think it should be 1, and then world rank 1, sorry, it should be 1. You know, you get 1 resin per level up. After 7, right? After 7, you go 8, 9. You should get 1 per. And then I think once you hit world level 2, you should get 2. World level 3, you should get 3, and world level 4, you should get 4. So the reason why is once you get to a specific level, it becomes really hard to level, and it takes a long time to level. Now the reason for that is they don't want you to chew through the content. But let's be serious. And once you hit 30, you pretty much chew through most of the content anyway. The only things you have left to do is the Klee storyline, the Venti storyline where you learn more about Venti, and I forgot what the other one was. But all 3 of those, once you hit in the realm of 35, you finish 2 of them, and then you're going on to Klee for the rank 36. That's you let's be clear, once you hit 35, you cleared out most of the content. The game now becomes you grinding resources to make amazing broken teams, and you can't really do that because the resin system is so limited. And I feel like for each ADR you should be getting resin so that you can push forward with your rank and so on and so forth. So it's kind of weird that they would go about the resin system as limited as this. And yeah, we're not supposed to blow through all the resin. We're supposed to use it effectively. This is how gacha games are built. They cap the wall in front of us so we can't like go nuts, you know. But a lot of us, you know, with baggy eyes, and we're like the race to 40, the race to 45. Everyone wants to be there, and I understand that's what they're doing. They're just like, no, you guys can't race. You have to play the game. Just play the game, but don't just mollywop it. And I get it. And everyone's gonna say, well, why they make the game like this? Well, they wanted to make an addictive game that you guys would want to come back to, constantly play, and so on and so forth. My issue is that the resin stops me from being able to build other characters so that I can bring guides to you guys, or bring awesome character features or things like that, or run through Abyss so that I could show you guys strategies that you can do as players at a particular level that is worthwhile and you can use to just plow through some of the content in the game, Spiral Abyss being one of them. Now, this doesn't just offset a lot of the flaws in the game. This game is flaw heavy, but you, like I said, and I said earlier, the game is young. It needs time to mature, and I think with the maturity of 1.1 we might get more resin changes. We'll see. Like I said, make sure you're thumbs upping this video, make sure you're sharing it, make sure people can see these propositions, and hopefully it can get to miHOYO's ears. Hopefully if they take one thing from this list of things I've written, or information that I've written down and calculated and so forth, let them at least change the resin timer, because I think if they at least just change the resin timer, it impacts the resin bigger than anyone thinks it really does. I think the resin timer is the biggest issue. It's not even the cap of the resin. I don't think it's to the extent of another resin, because after an hour you get 20 resin, you can run another domain or things like that. After 2 hours you can fight another boss. So with those changes that happens, whereas in most cases I'm waiting 2-3 hours just to run another domain in most cases. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, smash it, punch the button, like just like how Dio would, you know, punch Jotaro's face. You know, like make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you're commenting down below what other changes you would like to see to the resin system. I have other ideas. I talked about it. Shout out to a good mod of mine, Nankot. He's very, 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 very insightful. He has really good ideas, and I would like to share them with you guys, if you guys will let me. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for stopping by, watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, adventure on. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Can we get a venti dupe? Can we get a venti dupe? Can we get a venti dupe? It's a Barbara dupe. I'll take the Barbara dupe. Who is it? Who is it? It's